You wake up. You haven't showered. You've been wearing the same shirt for maybe a little too long, if we're being honest. And you genuinely, completely, 100% cannot smell anything wrong with yourself. Meanwhile, your friend walks in, wrinkles their nose, and takes 2 steps back like you just committed a crime. What is happening here? Are they lying? Are you broken? Is this some kind of prank? No. This is one of the strangest, most consistent blind spots in human biology, and almost nobody has ever properly explained it to you. Here's the setup nobody tells you about. Your nose is right now, this very second, processing an absolutely relentless stream of information. Every breath carries hundreds of odor molecules into your nasal cavity, where they latch onto receptors and fire off signals to your brain. That system is incredible. It can detect a gas leak from across a room. It can pick out one specific spice in a complicated dish. And yet it consistently, reliably, almost comically fails at the one smell that's closest to you at all times: your own. So let's talk about why. The first piece of this is something called olfactory adaptation. And it is not unique to smell. It's actually a pattern your entire nervous system runs constantly. Think about putting on a ring. For the first few seconds, you feel it. Then, within minutes, your brain just stops telling you it's there. Not because the ring disappeared, but because your nervous system has decided that constant, unchanging information isn't worth the energy of continuing to process it. This is called sensory adaptation, and your brain does this with basically everything. Background noise, the feeling of your clothes, and yes, smell. Your body odor is, from your brain's perspective, exactly that kind of constant signal. It never really goes away, it never spikes suddenly. It's just always there, humming in the background at a steady level. And your olfactory receptors are wired to respond to change, not to steady-state input. New smell walks in the room. Your brain lights up immediately. Same smell, hour after hour, and your brain quietly files it under not important and stops sending you updates. This is actually an evolutionary feature, not a flaw. Imagine if your ancestors had to consciously process their own smell all day long. That's wasted processing power. Attention is expensive, biologically speaking, so evolution built a system that filters out anything predictable and unchanging, freeing up your senses to catch the stuff that might actually matter. A predator's scent, smoke, spoiled food. Your own body odor never poses new information, so your brain tunes it out almost immediately, sometimes within a few minutes of exposure. But adaptation is only half the story. There's a second, weirder piece, and it has to do with where the smell is actually coming from. Most human body odor isn't produced directly by sweat. Fresh sweat is, chemically speaking, almost odorless. What actually smells is what happens after bacteria on your skin get involved. You have millions of bacteria living on your body right now, and when they metabolize the compounds in your sweat, particularly around your armpits, they produce the sulfur and acid compounds that create that distinctly human smell. This process takes time. It's not instant, which means the smell you'd be detecting is always slightly behind you, chemically speaking, always a beat late, always something your brain has already adapted to by the time it fully forms. Now, here's where it gets genuinely strange. Even though your brain filters out your own baseline smell, it does not filter out everyone else's. And that asymmetry exists for a very good reason. Detecting other people's scent historically mattered enormously. Body odor carries real biological information: immune system compatibility, health status, even genetic relatedness. There's research suggesting humans can subconsciously detect genetic differences through smell, which may have played a role in mate selection for thousands of years, nudging us away from partners whose immune systems were too similar to our own. That's a survival-relevant signal. Your own smell isn't. So your brain allocates its attention accordingly. Other people worth tracking. Yourself already known, filed away, ignored. There's also a simple structural reason layered on top of all this. Your nose sits directly beneath your own source of odor pretty much constantly. There's no distance, no gap, no moment of fresh contrast the way there is when someone else walks toward you and their smell arrives as new information. You're essentially standing inside your own smell cloud all day, which means there's never a clean before and after for your brain to notice. So if your own nose is this unreliable, how does anyone ever know they smell bad? Mostly, honestly, they don't, not through smell alone. People rely on indirect cues: time since their last shower, how hard they exercised, how other people react, and just general social calibration built from years of feedback. Some people do get brief windows of self-awareness, usually right after a period without exposure. Step outside for fresh air, come back in, and for a few seconds before adaptation kicks back in, you might genuinely catch a hint of yourself. But it fades fast because your brain immediately starts recalibrating to the new baseline. Which brings us back to that moment at the start. You completely unaware, your friend visibly reacting. You're not broken, and they're not exaggerating. You're both functioning exactly the way millions of years of evolution designed you to function. Your nose isn't built to monitor you. It's built to monitor everything that isn't you because historically, that's where the actual threats and opportunities were. The one blind spot your body refused to fix is the one thing you can never actually get away from. So the next time someone wrinkles their nose at you and you have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, that's not a malfunction. That's your brain doing exactly what it evolved to do, filtering out the one signal it decided, a very long time ago, wasn't worth your attention.